Hello everybody, welcome back to the RaenonX tutorials video mini series. And this episode we're just going to kind of do some wrap up, talk about some other features that I didn't touch on in my other ones. The other ones got their own full feature, but in this one it's just going to be a couple other features that I like to use, but I don't think warrant their own entire video because the features are a bit more basic and easier to understand. So, and also more niche in how often you can really use them or how powerful they are. So, first one that I want to go over is the Pokédex. Now, the Pokédex is just an interesting one. You can load it up. You can sort the Pokemon however you want them. It has multiple different sorting things. I tend to leave it on ID just because it's easy to find them. But sometimes it's nice to see, like, okay, if I want to see what's the best berry specialist, you can sort by berry strength. And then you can also tell it what conditions that you want to see on them as well. And it will give you them based off of whatever you ask for. So let's say I want to see berry count. This will just tell me what their berry count is total. You can also enable berry strength. So overall, you can see that. You can also select for an island, so then this will account for favored berry once you have that counted for. And it'll sort them automatically by whatever you have selected. Now, you also can say, I don't want to see Pokemon that don't have herbs. And then there, you'll see whatever the top Pokemon that have herbs are sorted by berry strength. You can say, I only want to see ingredient specialists that have herbs sorted by berry strength. Don't know why you would want that with Berry Finding S in this case. I actually can't change this. This is what's on my main account. I had it set that way, but then I switched to this one for showing off things. And I didn't realize this was enabled, but I can't disable it because I'm on the free-to-play, on the free access one. So that's a very interesting thing, that if you activate this while on a premium account and then you go back in, you can't change it back. But anyway, you can also say how many hours slept. So this is going to take into account ribbons. So as you can see, the unevolved Pokemon do a little bit better as you get higher ribbons. But it's a very just quick, easy tool. You can say I only want to see final evolutions. And then for skill level, basically, you can either unify the skills to be all only level 7 or level 6. Or only level 7. You can say just max of whatever is available to that skill. You can say only want to see level 6. Or base means whatever it would be for that Pokemon if you evolved it from base. So, like, a Golduck's going to get a level 2 skill because it has just one evolution, and an Ampharos is going to get a level 3 skill because it has 2 evolutions. So I think that can be a very useful tool for free-to-play players looking at that sort of thing, or possibly skill seed investment. Like, you can say, like, base, what does it produce for when I'm sorting by skills? But then, yeah. Overall, I think that's really all there is to be said about this tool. It's a very useful tool. Just for quick sorts, if you want to compare, do a cross-species analysis. You can also change what level you're evaluating them at. So obviously, like, an ingredient, like where they're at is going to make the value of berries be different. It's not the best tool for like gauging how much a Pokemon's going to produce when you do catch it, but if you're making hypotheticals to compare species, this is a phenomenal tool. Then the next one that I wanted to touch on is the map and sleep styles. I think this one's pretty nice for just you just go into the maps, you can see them all. Basically, so there's 2 different ones that I think are kind of useful. Maps, you just click on it, and you can just click on whatever the map is. Let's say you want to see Snowdrop Tundra. And it tells you at what level and the rank level for each tier. And Dream Shard reward, and for hitting that point, all those things. And it tells you how many of those sleep styles you unlock, which you track using the Sleep Dex record. You go in here, and you select all the Pokemon that you have already found. It looks like I'm on my main account again. I find that interesting. I had it open for a different tool that we'll get to later, but it looks like it opened my main account. Oh well. So I already have all these sleep styles documented that are highlighted, and here it'll tell you what percentages you have of Pokemon that are available at that level or lower. It's mostly just interesting statistics. You don't really need those numbers, but you can see, like, oh, if I'm at basic 3 on Snowdrop, I have one style in slumbering that's possible for me to see still. What is that? Oh, look at that. It's a Lowland Vulpix 1-star form. Big shocker there. I don't have that one yet. What a surprise. And then 1 snoozing style. What is that? Oh, it's Palmy. Like, I can just see that there, so maybe I know, okay, I really want to actually get dozing style tonight, because I'm missing 2 sleep styles, those being, I don't even know what I'm missing in dozing here. Well, here's an example. We can actually click to sort to only dozing styles if we want, and then I can see what I'm missing. Oh, I guess, no, I was wrong. I got all the dozing styles. Oh, that's because I was reading it wrong. Dozing's the checkmarked one. I have them all. The one that I'm missing 2 styles of at whatever it was is all of them. The total styles. There you go. So yeah, I know that I don't want dozing styles then, because I know that if I get that, I won't get any new sleep styles, especially if it's on like a full moon or something. So just an interesting thing. If you're really making your targets based around getting to Master 20, then this can be a useful tool for getting to Master 20, or knowing what your target goal is when you're using the team analysis functionality. Obviously, you're not getting there anytime soon on Snowdrop, but oh well. And then you can see where the cutoff is for like new Pokemon. So we know that the last sleep style that shows up and is possible to see is 3-star Palmot on Snowdrop. So getting past Master 14 is all just kind of for bragging rights and for a few extra Dream Shards, as well as just higher Snorlax strength overall. There's just some useful information here, and I think it's a pretty nice tool, especially when used in tandem with the sleep decks to log all of the sleep styles you've found. That is a task, though. Consistently logging all of them can be a bit tedious at times, and sometimes you'll forget and need to go back and relog all of them. Berries, ingredients, and main skill, just basic information. Anything under cooking, also like recipes and dishes, also just like information about the different meals. You can see their value at different levels. You can filter by ingredient types. I personally don't use this functionality that often, but I can see the value in it. If you know that you're particularly strong with oil because you have a really good Toxicroak that you found early game, you can filter down to just the meals that contain oil. So then you can be like, okay, which of these should I be making? Or which of these do I have the rest of the ingredients on to make this thing? So that can be kind of nice. Recipe calculator. I don't think I've ever really used this functionality other than gaining data. So basically it just tells you the value, and you can see which meals are your strongest based off their current levels. For the game thinks that for me it's that one. It's actually level 1. And it can tell you how much you need based off of whatever ingredients you put. You can also filter it, again, by type, ingredients used, and recipe bonus. As far as this recipe preparer goes, it's a tool that I've never used, so I can't really speak to how it gets used or what it can do. If you know, let me know in the comments. Personally, I don't think you need it. If I've never used it, you probably don't need it. Maybe somebody will find it useful, though. Now, the difference between the map that I showed earlier and the single map is this one shows you unique sleep styles. So this can be a bit more interesting. I wonder. So on here, you can see that the only unique sleep styles available are these Pokemon specifically. This would have used to include Mime and Mime Jr., but we just had Old Gold Power Plant come out, taking some of the unique sleep styles away from Cyan Beach. So this can help for if you want to really hone in on a few styles that you haven't quite gotten yet, that you know are island specific. That's how you can see it with the single map version of that. This one is the next one that I think I use the most out of all these like ancillary ones, and that is the XP calculator. Basically, you can tell the game if you're trying to log a pseudo, if you're trying to level up something else, you can tell it what species it is exactly. You can say account for candy for evolution. You can say I'm this much XP away from the next level up. It's level 25. It says it has 512 XP left to go. I've got 50 candies in the box, and let's say there's 33 handy candy S in the bag that I'm willing to invest. Here it'll tell you, after you use all those items, what level will it get to, and it'll tell you how many candies and XP you need for each key level up. You You can also disable it so it's no longer just the key level ups, and instead it will show you at every level up how much it will cost. So that, yeah. If it has a check mark, that means you can reach it with your current amount of candy. And if it doesn't, if it has a number, that means that's how many of that candy type you would need to get the Pokemon to that level. Over here, you have the total amount of Dream Shards that you would be spending to get it from point A to point B. So let's say if I have this Pokemon at level 25, if I were to 12 away, then it would take me 103,460 to get it to the point where I could evolve it. And this automatically accounts for, like, candy. You can see there's a 100 candy step up for evolution here, because it assumes that you're going to immediately evolve it when you get it to level 41, should you have the candy. So yeah, you can also plug in for XP boost rates, so pretty soon there's a 5 times Dream Shards for doubling the XP value event coming up here, so you can plug that in. It'll give you the new outputs based off the candies that you've input, and then the new Dream Shard cost. So if we want to get to that same level, we can see that it's 5 times what it was before. Or it should be, no, 2.5 times, sorry. 2.5 times what it was before. But the candy amount should be half. Or roughly. The math doesn't work out quite that way because we have a set amount. But this is a pretty useful tool. You can also see a nice chart of what the leveling curve looks like. In fact, if I reset all of this, you'll get to see just how horrendous the leveling curve looks at later levels. As you can see here, it really sharply spikes up in the later levels. But yeah, that's a pretty useful tool for figuring out when you'll be able to level up your Pokemon and evolve them. I also wanted to discuss the Pokemon box functionality. So this is where I've already shown you how you can save Pokemon. If you don't save them through the production comparison or the Rate My Pokemon or the team functionality, you can also add them here using this feature. And then there's just a nice little functionality that you can configure it so that you can sort them by strength based off of any given thing. So I can say, what are my best Pokemon at Cyan Beach? This is going to evaluate them on an individual basis, which isn't very accurate all the time, especially when taking into account helping bonus. So I still recommend using the team functionality, but you can put more data points on here as well. You can show it a different way so that it shows them like this, and then displays their ingredients as well. Sometimes if you want to compare for how many ingredients they're putting out, then you can change the filter to like ingredient count. Like you want to compare to your, well, let's see, if we are evaluating for ingredient strength, the Tyranitar is coming out on top, but let's say you want a filter to only see your sausage farmers. Cool, then it'll just pull up your sausage farmers. And then if you want to, and then it'll tell you have a filter enabled, and then you can also tell it that I want to see if all these Pokemon are level 60, which is going to be my best sausage farmer. For me, that's actually, wow. And then you can just compare the numbers right here with ease. So you can also tell it like, I only want to see them after they're fully evolved or fully upgraded with skill seeds. Then you get to preview these things, and you can just disable them by clicking them here, here, or here. And that's pretty much all that's in the Pokebox feature. It's kind of useful for getting a rough idea of which Pokemon's going to serve which roles better. But overall, just another nice thing for evaluating. I still think getting the full picture and production comparison is sometimes the better route, or team analysis will always treat you better because it does give the full picture of how each skill works into the team and accounts for energy and all the things like that. So the final one here is the energy curve analysis. I don't use this too often, but this is mostly good for figuring out a healer's value for the team. Basically, you can just see here the average modifier that a healer applies. So if I use my Gardevoir, you can set it to optimistic or conservative. I talked about the difference between these in my second video on this series when I was talking about production comparison. You can put in your sleep schedule, so maybe having a different sleep schedule, doing split sessions, may actually change the value of a healer for you. You can tell it optimistic and conservative. You can put in your cooking schedule, and it'll just tell you what the energy impact of your energy curve will be in here. And it'll show you the energy across the day, what your Pokemon are going to average, where they're going to be on average at a certain time of the day, and then also what efficiency they're operating at and where those break points are. This one's not as necessary, but it's sometimes kind of nice to use for evaluating healers, especially when you're looking for your initial healer. Anyway, that's basically all of the features that I wanted to discuss in this video. I think that these ones are less useful than the ones that I discussed in the other 3 videos, which is why they were all lumped together in one big video at the end. But if you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you learned something, be sure to do that as well. And as always, I thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye now.